What the f? What's this? They stood outside and screamed in unison to complain about the state of the gaming industry. Watch a bunch of game developers screaming in a public park to protest the state of the industry. Wait, so this is real? No way, right? We are in the midst of a tremendous mental health crisis. This is insane. Amidst the excitement of GDC, dozens of developers shared a moment of pure catharsis. Join us in a eclectic moment of catharsis, camaraderie, and caterwauling. Let's descend upon Yerba Bona, and when the clock strikes noon, have ourselves a nice big GD scream. This is just, guys, I cannot even express what this is to me. There are at least 2K devs at GDC. Maybe out of 30 or 40 joined the stupidity, 3% is not bad. Oh, no, this is not all game developers, but it does make game... People see this, and they think that game developers are mentally ill man-children that are literally getting together to yell at the... Like, literally, man yells at clouds. Like, that's where we're at. And this is supposed to be taken seriously. This is crazy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is crazy, but this isn't new. And this is one of the reasons why I criticize Asmongold, because I, again, am so appreciative that he's talking about this and bringing this to light. But this is not new, and this is not a small and inconsequential portion of the game development community. There are a lot of people within the game development spaces that may not have been there that are just like these people. We've seen them at multiple companies. The culture around these companies, it is a left-wing, woke, collectivist mindset. And these people don't just do this here. It's not like, well, this was my collective time to just be a deranged, mentally ill freak show. No, they take this to their job, they take this home, they put this online. This is what we've been up against for years, Asmon. This is what we've been up against for years. It is not a tiny fringe group. This one collection of people may be relatively small. Maybe there's 40 or 50 people there, maybe 60 at most. But it's a reflection of the industry, and it's something that we're trying to do better about calling awareness to, which is why I'm so grateful that Asmon is talking about it. And you see the look on his face. You see the look of just absolute incredulity. That's the look on our face when we discovered that these people were getting jobs in the game journalism field. We're getting jobs at companies like Sweet Baby Inc. and we're collaborating with game developers and corporations. This is the look on our face when we saw that these people were being given positions of authority and power in game development, game creation, and marketing. These are a bunch of psychopathic, left-wing, degenerate, low-value, low-IQ pieces of human filth that exert their inferiority complex on innocent people that have never done or said anything to them at all. But they can concoct some manufactured agreement, and they say, well, all gamers are this or all gamers are that, and therefore they have a cudgel to try to tear you down and deconstruct the things that you love and try to remake them in their own image. And their image is not a pleasant one. So, again, I'm very grateful that Asmon is doing this video, and this face perfectly reflects that. These are the type of people that we've been warning about and talking about for years. This is the state of game development. Now, this does not mean all game developers. Of course not. Do you think that when I talk about game developers, I'm talking about game developers from Japan? Do you think that Nintendo in Japan would have a spectacle this embarrassing? No, of course not. Do you think that Square Enix in Japan would have a spectacle this embarrassing? No, of course not. This is, unfortunately, our problem at home. Because the left wing has gone insane. They have gone absolutely mental, and they have been for the past, I'd say, 20 years. Gradually getting more and more insane. I would say, if you want to know my opinion, I would say that Obama's presidency was to blame. Oh, thanks, Obama. But no, if you really think about it, in 2008, what was the Democrat Party platform? Well, traditional marriage, things were pretty normal, relatively speaking. And then you have Barack Obama come in. By the time Barack Obama left, you think about where was the culture? Where were we? Well, by the time Obama left, kids could get, gender change surgery, and it was being demanded that it be paid for by the government. You had child drag shows that were being normalized. You had these despicable, grotesque books that were being introduced to elementary schools. You had a lot of these problems that had emerged under the tenure of Obama. So really, at the end of the day, this is an issue that goes from 2008 to about 2016 and now beyond. Because we didn't have to deal with stuff this insane before that. No, oh sure, there was insanity. I mean, there were lunatics, of course, but it wasn't as prevalent in entertainment and the arts. So you could have good movies. You could say, oh, well, Hollywood celebrities are crazy. But you could still watch movies like The Shawshank Redemption and great movies like those. You could still have movies like the Matrix trilogy, which would come out and were awesome. You could still have movies that were at least interesting. I know a lot of people don't like the prequels. I've come around to them. I think they are woefully misjudged movies. You had movies like that back then. That was, I think, Revenge of the Sith was 2005. My point is that there is a shift in the culture that has taken place in a relatively short amount of time. I mean, not that short. I mean, we're talking 2008 gradually to 2016, which, and then Trump was, I think, the powder keg. I think things had already gotten to this extreme, and Donald Trump was just sort of like, hey, I'm here. I'm a response to this. I don't think Trump started any of it, if I'm being perfectly honest. Because Donald Trump, and not to get too much on Trump, Donald Trump is a 90s Democrat. Which is exactly what he's been his whole life. Donald Trump is not really that different, when you think about it, than Bill Clinton. He's really not. Other than, his wife is, several 100,000 times more attractive than Hillary. But anyway, my point is not to get bogged down on that political stuff, but you understand, this is a phenomenon that has wormed its way into all forms of entertainment, and people have had enough of it. They had enough of it when they first learned about it. Which, the biggest example of this in gaming was Gamergate 1.0. Where people saw that these people were getting into positions as game journalists and developers and executives at companies, and they were ripping down fans. They were ripping down gamers. Calling them misogynist. Saying they were problematic. We're going to reshape the gaming industry. We're going to remake it because you're all too racist. And people are sitting around going, wait a minute, I've been playing as women characters and black characters forever. What's the deal now? I love Barrett from Final Fantasy VII. I love Aerith. I love Tifa. What's the how am I the issue here? Well, they never were. But these are people that are not gamers. They don't understand anything. They're mentally ill. They have no identity. They have no redeeming quality about them whatsoever. So they're looking for somebody to tear down to feel better about themselves. And they picked a very vulnerable group of people, which was gamers. And gamers, being that they are vulnerable, are people that continued to welcome people in. And that's the saddest part of all of this. Gamers welcomed these people in. They said, "Oh, hey, you're sort of different too. Hey, welcome. Hey, we love these tabletop games. The Star Wars. There's some great stuff here." And these people went to work pushing the true fans of these IPs out of their own space. And then vilifying them for not liking the grotesque and egregious changes. Which is why a lot of people feel very passionately about this. They don't like it. They don't like these people. They don't like what they stand for. They don't like how they look. They don't like how they smell. They don't like how they talk. They are an affront. They are an insult. They are the illegal immigrants. They have no right to be here. None. They have no right to invade a space that they had no business being in. They don't want to be a gamer. They don't like gaming, a lot of them. They don't. Not really. They just simply couldn't do anything else, and they found their way here, and now they're in. And they're gonna let you know their opinion about gamers and misogyny and toxicity, when really we don't give a shit what your opinion is. Because you're immoral, you're stupid, you smell bad, you look bad, you're gross, you're creepy, you're weird. And that would all be fine. That would all be fine if you kept to yourself. If you just minded your own business. As Jordan Peter would say, if you made your bed and cleaned your room and did things within your world that reflected your ideology, that'd be fine. But you're not doing that. You're coming to our games, our franchises that we've loved before it was cool, and you're altering them and ruining them because you think that it'll get you a little bit of clout on social media because you're not good enough or smart enough or talented enough to get it on your own. You're basically a sensationalist content creator. That's what you are. But unlike other content creators, you don't even have the ability to articulate yourself in a way that people would understand and that is cogent. So you instead want to ban people, silence people, rip them down, tear them down. Well, this is where we're at. This is the state of these people. And the reason I make videos like this is so that we can laugh at them and mock them and humiliate them and tell them you're not welcome and you never will be. And that's not because of your identity that you've created to feel like you matter. No, the reason that you're not welcome is because of your behavior, your attitude, your inability to cohabitate with the people who were here. You are the colonizers. We are the indigenous. We are the indigenous gamers, and you came in and you gave us these smallpox blankets and said, "Here, you like these?" And gamers are like, "Oh, we feel sick. This is disgusting. Like, what's going on here?" And you're like, "Oh, well, we're taking your land, and if you don't like it, we're going to ban you," which is basically removing them from the conversation, removing them from their own hobby, many of them who have been there for a long, long time. You are the imperialists. You are the people coming in to take things that don't belong to you. That's what you are. Now, you don't see it that way because you're stupid and you are filled to the gills with this delusion that you're self-righteous, but at the end of the day, what you're doing here is you're yelling and screaming about the injustice in the game development spaces, many of those that you yourself perpetuate and create, and at the end of the day, don't fight against. It was gamers who fought against microtransactions and loot boxes. You guys made them in the game development space. You made them. You implemented them. You put them out. So, spare me this moral lecture. You people on the left, you're not moral. You're not decent. You're not intelligent. You're not good. You're evil. You're a malevolent cancer that unfortunately our species is going to have to figure out a way to deal with you. And most likely it's going to be to build insane asylums and put you all back in. Because this is insane. You're going out and yelling in some kind of cathartic rant because you're not intelligent enough or mentally and spiritually and emotionally mature enough to articulate yourself in a way that is cogent to most people. So you have to scream and you think that's a protest? I got to tell you, there's a reason why most people instinctually do not like you. Whether you be game developers, whether you be in the media, this sort of attitude, this left-wing echo chamber, it's got to go. I will continue to talk about this, to fight against this, to try to purge this stuff from the gaming spaces. I hope that you'll all stick around for the ride. Thank you, Asmongold, for giving us this face. I will probably be using this for the thumbnail because it so accurately depicts who these people are. But ladies and gentlemen, let me just say, no matter what these people throw at you, you are on the right side of history. You are correct. What these people advocate for, what they believe in, how they behave, all of it is wrong. And it is provably wrong. Consistently, it is provably wrong by other companies who do the opposite of what these people do and are the opposite of who these people are. They manage to make success after success. Final Fantasy VII Remake is the latest example. You could say Helldivers 2. But at the end of the day, I think it is critically important that we realize these people are in the gaming development spaces, and we should move forward accordingly. You should be aware of this. So when you're doing business with a company, you have to make sure, or at least you should, at least from my point of view, that the company knows that hiring people like this is not acceptable. An attitude like this from a company is not acceptable. They can have their free speech and whatnot, but if they're representing game developers and they're doing something this goddamn pathetic, this is Western game devs. This is what they are. A bunch of unattractive, fat, purple hair weirdos and a bunch of twink beta male men or a bunch of overweight men. This is just gross. And so I hope that, I hope that the gaming industry shapes up. I hope that they take the direction of Helldivers 2. But that'll do it for today's video, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.